Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Yes, we are live. All right, so you are welcome. It's our Tuesday live. I usually would say welcome to the cathedral. All right, so thank you so much for joining me. And if this is your first time joining me, let me see your comment in the comment section. First in the house streaming. T. Walter, yes, you are the first in the house. It's good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's conversation, we're going to try and also see how we can stream live on other platforms and see if we'll be able to do that. All right. So you would want to we're talking about private and public part. Is this all there is to your sex education? Whenever we talk about this topic, many of the times, a lot of people, get it all twisted. So when we talk about sex education, sex conversation, there is a lot in it. It's not just private, public part. Please, if you can hear me, you can see me. Let me see you. Let me see your comment right in the comment section where you can tell me that you can see me. Please, let's start the conversation immediately as soon as you can confirm that I can be seen and be heard. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're just joining us, tell us where you are joining us from. Okay, so this conversation is one of those many conversations that every parent is worried about. Please, if you can see me clearly and can hear me clearly, please confirm that you can see and hear me. Yes? Okay, if you can see and hear me clearly, please confirm and tell me where you are joining in from. If this is your first time joining this live session, I want you to put right in the comment section and put a hashtag first time joining you live. All right. Let me see how. Okay. So we're going to get running. We have almost 40 people watching live now on YouTube. We can hear you clearly, but the video is blurred. So it is much. Thank you so much for that feedback. Okay. Thank you for that feedback. Okay, I guess the network is going to, as we go on, is going to all normalize. But if you can hear me clearly, let me please confirm that you can hear me loud and clear, okay, so that we can get going. Thank you so much for joining me and for being here always. So welcome to the cathedral. If this is your first time joining this live session, we call the Tuesday 2 p.m. session our cathedral, and we're so glad to have you here. Okay, I guess I can see that I'm streaming with a little bit of an interesting network. I have like 3 networks right here. I'm still trying to make sure that the video appears clearly. All right, while we work on that, we're going to just take off since you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, so thank you. We're talking about sex conversation. Is your sex conversation just about public and private part? Is that what your sex conversation is about? So is your sex conversation just about public and private part? So let's do a little test. How many of us are currently having sex conversations in our home? Let me see a yes. Let me see a yes. Let me see a no. I've not started. You can put a yes. I am just getting to start. So, by the way, my name is Wendy Ologe, and I'm the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy. I know that quite a number of people haven't heard about me before, so I like to take time to actually introduce myself without assuming that people would know who I am. Okay, I'm the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy, and one of the things that I love to do is to teach parents how to be parents. And one of the things that we're talking about this month is sex conversation. And today we are in a quest, and we're talking about sex conversation. And we're saying, is your sex conversation just about private part and public part? Now, if your sex conversation, what are you talking about? All right. Hi, Pally, see you. What are you talking about in your sex conversation? It's not enough. It is not enough to say, I am teaching my children sex education, because a lot of us call it sex education. I'm going to differentiate between all of that. It is not enough to say, I am having these conversations. The question will be, what is the content of that conversation? Somebody say, I have not started. Thank you so much for being sincere. So I asked the question. I said, how many parents listening to me have started the sex conversation? How they should start it? How many of us have started the sex conversation? Have you started talking to your children about, I'm not talking about the mechanics of sex. I'm not talking about how a woman sleeps with a man. That is just a part of sex conversation. Sex itself is just an integral part of sex conversation. You know, many of the times when I ask this question, a lot of parents actually say, yes, I've started, but all they have said is how you should not allow a boy touch you and how you should not touch other people's private part. Everything they've talked about is public part, private part. And if that is where your conversation is still at, is a failed conversation. And that's what this class is about. Is your conversation still at that point where you're still talking, don't touch your private part, do not do this and all of that? I can see quite a number of parents, coming out sincerely to say, I have not started. If you haven't started, thank you for taking our time to listen and also begin to implement. Now, this is not a time ever to ever think or assume that your children do not understand what it is that is happening. Anytime when I talk about sex conversation, recently I posted on, sex conversation, how we, were supposed to start and all of that. By the way, we launched the Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro Challenge yesterday, and we have almost 200 parents, as at this time that I'm talking to you, registered for that challenge. If you were ever at Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro Challenge last year, you will know that that challenge is made from heaven. And this year again, that challenge is coming firebrand. All right? Different. Even if you started Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro, is a build-up, right? This is a whole new curriculum. So, I was telling the parents in the inner circle that there's a particular sex education curriculum I update myself every year, because it will wow you at how dynamic and very fluid the sex conversation has become. Sex conversation has become so fluid, as in it just travels in split seconds. Things have changed, and that's why it has become a core for us. One of the things that I have noticed, in the conversations on sex, I've noticed that quite a number of people do not know what to teach as regards sex conversations. So there's a lot of wrong knowledge out there. So people say, I have been in a place where someone was teaching about sex education, sex conversation, and the person was, everything was about public part. I keep saying that there's no part, when it comes to sex conversation, there's no part of the body that is public. Every part is private, including the hands. So while we are there teaching the half-baked education, and I have said over and again that half-baked education is more destructive than no education at all, especially when it comes to sex conversations. So are you really having sex conversations, or are you teaching your children the mechanics of sex? Hi, Felicita. Or are you teaching your children to make use of sex? They are not the same. So many times I posted a particular story on our Facebook community, our 100K plus Facebook community, and a particular parent said to me, I don't teach my children about sex. It's interesting to note that there are parents who actually think that sex conversation is about sex. And that's why we're not going to stop. We're going to continually put this awareness in your face. You need to understand that if you're not giving the sex conversations, someone else is giving it. It's a natural human curiosity. Your child is going to find out. Your child is going to want to do. If your child is not talking to you, your child is talking to someone else, or your child is talking to anybody, online, offline, whoever, there's someone that is getting that information. So we're going to start this conversation with, why must I start now? You know, we talk about, is it enough to teach private part and public part? No, it's not enough. You need to understand that just teaching private, and that is even wrong education. You see that private part, public part, it is wrong education. Please, don't teach it. Oh, don't allow anybody touch your penis. Don't allow anybody touch your vagina. But there are people who will touch your hand and then it translates to abuse. So we need to get the right knowledge to even understand what it is that we're teaching our children. So why must I start now? Number one, research says that children who learn about sex from their parents are less likely to have poor sex decisions. If your child is not learning about sex from you, there is a problem. And if what they are learning is even half-baked, there is even a bigger problem. Let me say that again. If your child is not learning about sex from you, there is a problem. And if what they are learning is half knowledge, there is even a bigger problem. Have you invited your fans and family? Have you tagged people who should be in this session listening to us today? This session is going to leave you speechless. Alrighty. There are a lot of things that we don't know about sex conversations, and I have seen that gap since the pandemic. I saw that gap from when I wrote Walking Your Child Through Puberty. I saw that gap, and I wrote that book, and there was just a whole lot. Parents don't even understand what puberty is themselves, and children cannot be helped. In the launch plan that I launched recently exclusively for parents in the inner circle, we're using it, is part of what we use for our curriculum. And in that book, I was saying that anything, when it comes to, raising children to become adults, children need to be taught. A lot of us were not even taught how to become adults. So many of us just stumbled on it. So teaching your child sex education from you saves them a whole lot. Then teaching them with half knowledge breaks it even, and then it makes it even more terrible. Please, get the required knowledge to teach your children what they need to learn. Because sex conversation is first about you, and it has nothing to do with sex. Well, sex conversation has very little to do with sex itself, the mechanics of sex. So if you're listening to me, the first thing that you want to note is that first, you are the best person to teach your child sex conversation. I have seen a lot of conversations in a lot of programs where people will say, oh, let the parents not teach, we can teach the children. There's nothing wrong with it. But there is a problem with it. Let me tell you what the problem will be. That person who will be teaching your child will be teaching them from their value system. From their value system, which takes us to the next one. Sex conversations are taught from it's from what you believe in. It's from what you believe in. So if you say, oh, my child is going to go and learn somewhere, and that's why I have a philosophy that the best person to ever teach sex conversation is you. You are the best person ever to ever teach this. No other person is more qualified. Put me anywhere. No other person is more qualified. So all those your child went to school, they taught your child and all of that, there are limitations to it. Because sex conversations are first from your value system. Number 3, the best sex conversation strategy is to start early and continue through the process. The best sex conversation strategy is to start early and continue through the process. Many people have come to me to ask, so coach, when should I start? When we launched Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro yesterday, by the way, we launched it yesterday. It's about 24 hours and we already have almost 200 parents registered. And when we launched it, somebody came and asked, so can I register? Because my child is only 2 years. I don't think I should have started sex conversation. Sex conversation is first non-verbal. I wrote that in my book, the very first volume of Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro. So the second volume is what it is that we're going to do in the challenge. So it is important for you to know that the best strategy is to start early. When is early? I'm sure that's one of the things that you will be asking me. When is early? Early is even before your child starts to speak. I have seen a lot of narratives. Some of those narratives tell you, oh, you start from age 2. You start from age 5. Don't teach your children half-baked knowledge. You start from whatever age. That's not it. Your conversations on sex start with non-verbal conversations. It's first non-verbal. So you start even before your child can speak. That's what early means. That's what early means. So in case you're asking me, coach, what is it that you mean early? And when you start early, you continue. You continue. Continuation will mean getting the right information you need before your child turns a particular age. I've seen yesterday, I got a chat from a particular parent in one of the African countries who said, oh, their child is turning 13. It's actually so bad that they are looking for a hostel in Nigeria where I can work with the child and the child will be put in a hostel right here in Nigeria because they didn't understand how to handle puberty before the child was turning 13. Have you noticed your child turns 13 or 14, your child becomes, according to you, something else? Because there was no preparation. You didn't prepare the child. You didn't prepare yourself. You just stumble. We like the stumbling knowledge. You just stumble on it. Hey, that's how they know the parenting is so hard. Oh, it's so hard. Parenting will weary you without knowledge. And that's why one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible says, it says that the journey of the foolish wearied them because they do not know how to get to the city. You will be weary without knowledge. When I listened to this parent, they were so weary. And I was like, it's just simple. When people say to me, coach, I've not even started paying for course. I've not even started, really reading any book and all of that, it's fine. If you don't pay now, you pay later. We'll wait for you at the end. It's okay. A parent reached out to me recently, had an issue with the I won't be able to give details, unfortunately. But on the same day, she would have spent over 300,000 in one soup, just trying to get me to attend to her. Meanwhile, all the things that have happened, I'm going to teach her, are the things that we're also going to be teaching in Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro 2.0. They are the things that are right in the books that we tell you to go and read. But hey, the parent said, that all the while she used to hear me. She just used to think, that, it's not really for her because she's a Christian parent. Hear me, all ye people that put your children in Christian school and say that because of that, your children will learn. This number 4 is for you. Never rely on school system to teach your children sex education. School can teach sex education, right? They cannot have sex conversations. Never ever rely on any school system. When this parent came to me, parent lives abroad and have paid heavily for one of the most expensive. If you understand how it works abroad, you understand, those who live abroad will understand what I mean when you are paying for a secondary school that is private and that is Christian. She said, my child is in a Christian school. I never thought this would ever happen to my child. It's all right. And she said to me during that conversation, I've heard you talk about the inner circle. I've heard you talk about some of these courses. I just feel it's not for me. But in that one sitting, everything became for her. Every single thing. Every single thing. The guides, the books, the courses, everything was for her. She understood that every single thing mattered. You know, you will not understand how much they mattered until you get into trouble. I'm laughing because I cannot even share some of the troubles that I'm actually talking about. You get into the real, I'm talking about real trouble, right? Schools can teach your children sex education. They can't have sex conversations with your children. And when the sex conversation, when close conversation, there's a gap, your child will be lost. You don't want to know what is happening. Currently, it's Pride Month. Pride Month is the LGBTQ, month currently all over the world. There's a celebration of, Pride. I'm sure a lot of parents listening to me do not even know what LGBTQ means. Lesbian, gay, the sex conditions all over the world. And it's been, it has even extended. LGBTQIA, it's now even longer than you can imagine. That's why you cannot even rely on what you think you used to know last year with what it is that you know now. I don't even rely on the things I have learned before. I'm continuously learning. So never ever rely on a school system to help you teach your child sex education. Never. Because the school cannot deliver. It doesn't matter because sex education is from your value system. It doesn't matter what it is that the school is. So the school is going to teach you, this one, how sex, how reproduction happens and all of that. No school is going to be having the sex conversation with your child. What is the difference? Sex education is just a part of sex conversation. Sex education is only a part of sex conversation. Sex conversation includes too many other things I'm going to be sharing with you right in this place. Thank you so much, Taiwo Akinwade. I can see that you're tagging a lot of your family and friends. That is so, so, so awesome. Because you know the worst thing. If you think that you want to learn these things yourself, unfortunately, when it comes to sex conversations, your family and friends would affect even the conversations that you're having in your home. It will affect the system that you're building in your home. Can rely on, and they know what you know. Even if you have them, do they know what you know? Okay, we're going to get to the other things you must think about, all right, before you actually get there. I was talking about Pride Month. For those of us who live in Nigeria, who think when I said Pride Month, it doesn't happen here. We have schools in Nigeria celebrating the Pride Month in full-fledged. I'm not going to call names. Full-fledged. So you can sit down in your halls and just say to yourself, you know what? This is none of my business. We don't live abroad. Somebody said to me, all these things are really difficult abroad and all of that. It doesn't happen in Nigeria. I had a good laugh. We're very hypocritical in this part of the world. I had a good laugh because I know more than, I tell the parents in the inner circle, don't allow me talk a lot. When you hear me go off sometimes, just know that I've heard something I might not be able to ever share with you. Just know that I am talking to you sternly for you to actually listen. Some things I will never be able to share because my job doesn't give me the liberty to actually be able to share some things that I know, unfortunately. but I'm going to be educating you on what you should be doing. If you're ready to listen, then that's for you. And in this Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro, we're going to be talking about a whole, day is going to be on gender confusion, on, how to have the LGBTQ conversations. Do you know that today, gender confusion is part of your sex conversation? If you're not having the gender confusion conversation, you are joking. Joking. Completely joking. Today, if you're not having the tech conversation, you are joking. You are joking. Tech. How does tech affect, the sex conversation that you're having? Do you know that self-control and self-esteem is a core component of sex conversation? Core component. But we're teaching the mechanics of sex because all over the internet, that's what you get on Google, all right? So that's it. When you say, oh, I can go on Google and fish out, anything that I want. I was writing Walking Your Child Through Puberty, and the section where, I was talking about gender confusion and all of that, you cannot see anything meaningful, on that conversation online. Quote me. So if you're not learning it from people who should actually be teaching you, then you're going to be floating. So all of those conversations, all of those arguments, I can get whatever it is, I can do whatever I want. It's your choice. Do you know that porn literacy is now a big deal? Porn literacy, it's now a big deal. Do you know that there's appropriate porn literacy conversation for children even below at age 2, provided they've started watching tech? Porn, yes, you heard me right. Today I shared the porn literacy stats book, and I'm also going to put it right, the link right. I said that everybody who comes for this session is going to get a link for that porn stat book. If you're watching me on YouTube, I'm sure that most of you got in here from our Telegram channel. We're going to be sending you. I'm also going to be emailing it to you. If you're watching me on Facebook, we're going to drop the link so that you'll be able to get that stat. We dropped it this morning for our parents in the inner circle. Our tool of the day in the inner circle was to have sex conversation. So we brought it out because I wanted them to direct their sex conversation on pornography today. So we brought it out for them. So we're extending love to you from the inner circle. So that you can have. All right. Somebody said which one is Pride Month. Pride Month is the month where the LGBTQ celebrates themselves and tell you that they exist. All right, and that you should recognize them. And one of the things that I keep saying is just like when people talk about porn and all of that, the porn industry is a multi-billion naira industry. You think it's going to go away? It's never going to go away. It feeds people. It makes money. So the earlier you get that, the better for you. All right? The first step in sex educating your child is to define your values and your beliefs. That's the first step. Unfortunately, one of the things that I have seen is that there's a mix of value system and all of that. A father reached out to me. The son was already doing pornography, hardcore pornography. There was a particular, coach who shared his porn story at the intentional parent conference 2 years ago. How he got into pornography and all of the things that happened to him. This boy has gotten to that point where it's become an addiction. So the father was looking for help. And when this boy, had encounter, and all of that, we realized that this boy stumbled on porn for the first time on his father's phone and started to watch porn. And they started getting that. So he got porn from his environment anyway. Now, what pornography does to you is that there's something it actually does to your brain. All right? The same way that you get addicted to cocaine. That's the same way. So it triggers dopamine. It's the same thing, the same process. The same process. So if you're not teaching, if you do not have idea of how the porn literacy and the porn industry works, then you can't teach it. Then you're going to be lost. So you need to educate. All right? You need to educate your child to define your value system. When you get into the inner circle is an annual program that will run for parents throughout, the year. It's a yearly program. And when you get into the inner circle, the first thing we request of you to do is to create your family value system. Because every other thing we're going to be talking about is going to be built on your family value system, including your sex conversation. So everything at all that you want to teach, the base, the foundation is value system. What do I believe in? What conversations am I having? We don't know that our children are actually watching the conversations that we're having per time. If this was a session, I say it often, people laugh. If this was a session hosted by Bob Risky, for instance, you're going to see millions of views. People are going to be sharing. Oh, come and see. Oh, come and that's the kind of things we share. We don't share things like this. It goes back to what we believe in. It goes back to our core essence. It goes back to our core value system. It's the same reason why when you tell parents, oh, buy books for your children, they say, book, I beg. I cannot spend that kind of money with, on just books. That is the same reason. That's why when you tell parents, pay for a course to come and learn, they say, I beg. Meanwhile, they can buy shawarma the very next day and eat. And they will tell you, I don't really have money. I saw a very funny scenario a few days ago. It was quite funny. So I saw some beggars who had finished begging and they walked into a supermarket to shop. I watched them, finished shopping, walked away, paid money, and then they left. And I started to think. Now, these same beggars or these same people who poor who say, oh, I can't learn, I don't have money to learn and all of that, can actually, when they walk into these supermarkets, they don't get it for free. Nobody feeds you for free. Really. So when people, come in and say, why is it that, you need to learn, why do you need to learn? It's fine. You either need to learn or you don't need to. When the chips are down, like that parent that had to give me 300K in a minute, I will be here too waiting for you to collect your money. I'll be very glad. Now we're telling you this challenge is 2K. Just come and pay so that you can learn. And you're just feeling, I remember a very particular parent. I shared her story because she told me she shared her story. She came to my office. She was in Abuja and came to my office. Her son had been doing porn for almost 2 years and she never knew. So when she now got to know, she came to my office. She was weeping because she said, I'm one of the people that used to say all these things that they are saying. All these things that they are saying, please, I am born again. My children can never ever do it. They are covered in the blood of Jesus. I'm not saying that prayers are not valid. Please don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that your prayer had the prerequisite knowledge. Your children have feelings. It's not a prayer point. You're not going to pray feelings out of your children. They're going to feel something. If you do not know what to tell them to do with those feelings, your children are going to continue to feel whatever. All right? Number 2 thing that you must do, I said that you must start even before your child becomes nonverbal. But before you start that, do you know what to say? Now, this is the biggest problem that we have. Knowing what to say. A lot of parents know that they need to start. They understand everything, but they don't really know what to say. They don't really know what to say. What you say, will be a product of what you know. Let me say that again. What you say will be a product of what you know. You cannot say what you do not understand. All right. The third one is you must work on your emotions. Overreacting kills sex conversation. See, when you start these kind of conversations, I tell the parents in the inner circle, when you start, you're going to hear things that will shock you. You think your children don't know anything, Abby? When you start the conversation, as in the things you will hear, you want to faint, literally. You want to faint. As in, you want to collapse. You're looking at yourself, you're like, this child knows this. It will shock you, how much your children actually know. So you need to actually work on your emotions so that you don't faint. So when they are saying those things, you don't faint. A parent came to me and said to me, my son, 7-year-old, came back and said, I was looking at one girl. The girl is so fine and my penis now stood. Let me even sample opinion. If you are the parent, what will you do? If you are the parent, what will you do? How will you react to that particular conversation? How will you react to that particular conversation? How would you react to that particular conversation? Your son comes home and tells you, I saw a girl that is very, very fine in my class, and I just felt that my penis was just standing. I will simply say it's normal. Okay, it's all right. I'm waiting for the parents to respond to me. How will you respond? What will be your first reaction? What will you start casting and binding? Or will you say, no, that's the thought of the devil? I just say, I will faint first. That's it. I'll first of all faint before I now put myself together and now understand that, okay, what is happening here? A parent said that to me and said, Coach, I said, you cannot be having an erection at 7. Are you kidding me? And she said it to me. I was like, I don't understand. Is that what you told the boy? Say yes, because it's wrong. It is wrong. It is the gimmicks of the devil. How can you do you know anything about sex? Huh? Children are created sexual beings. Don't kill yourself. Children are created first as sexual beings, just like you. So all those, you're jumping up and down, you're doing this, you're not really, hearing it. And I'm sure that quite a number of us are going to react that way. A parent told me that she started praying for her daughter when her daughter said she was liking a boy. She is evil. It's evil. You are only 6. It's evil. That's, patterns of the devil. It's okay. It's okay, yeah? It's okay for us to think all of that. All right? So, it is very important for you to know that your children are going to have feelings. They're going to see people and like them. They're going to crush on people. Their penis is going to tingle. According to my one of my friends, the body will tingle them. They will want to, one thing, it shows that your child is human. So those, trying to say, oh, Lord, and all of that, oh, it's evil. And it's not evil for a child to have erection, please. It's not evil. There's nothing evil about it. Yeah? It's not wrong. It does not mean the child is spoiled because the child is having an erection. The child is just being human. What you need to, I told the parents in the inner circle recently, what are you teaching your children to do with feelings? The other day, that was our tool of the day. What are you doing with feelings? See, the major challenge is knowing what to say. That's the major challenge. That's the major challenge we have with sex conversation. And that's exactly what we're doing with the Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro. We're equipping you with what to say. Let me tell you a bit of a story. My son had gone somewhere and they were asking, who amongst you have the parents thought about sex conversations? He had his hand up. And he was the only person that had his hand up, in all of that place. And I was like, wow, how did that make you feel? He said, it made me feel indestructible. Because I know something that others didn't know. Wow. It felt really good. What do you know to say? Do you know that your children know when you are actually saying, your children know when you are actually saying what is right? Your children will know you are confident about what you're saying. Your children know, they will actually feel indestructible, really, in the real sense of it. They know when what you're saying does not tally. They know when you're confident about it. I was in a conversation with my daughter and she said, oh, so when they brought the exam script and it was just, on puberty and all of that, Mom, I didn't even need to read. It was so simple. I probably have more knowledge on puberty than they were going to even teach me. See, knowledge sets you apart. Knowledge is actually what brings you rest. I like the way Coach Ebuka is watching me here. I like the way Coach Ebuka says it. Coach Ebuka says that knowledge gives you rest. Rest. Very important. So what do you know? What do you know? Are you teaching when you are actually teaching these sex conversations? Are you teaching the other parts that actually make up sex conversations? Number one would be family value system, body image, masturbation, body exploration. Do you know that body exploration starts as early as age 2? Children start to touch themselves, start to check out their private parts, what you call private parts. For me, every part of my body is private. I don't know about you. What you call private parts, all right? And all of it, they start putting their hand. They start putting their hand on their bum, to just, understand their body. It starts from age 2. Meanwhile, you're waiting. You're asking me whether sex educate your child like a pro is for you because your child is just 2. Are you having conversations around age LGBTQ, gender confusion? Are you having conversations on drugs? In Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro, we are breaking down drug conversation. It has become a menace. It has become a total menace. If you're there sitting down and thinking, oh, I will take my children to all the private schools, all the private Christian schools, that session, David told me, he said, the first time I saw cocaine in its glory was in a private university in Nigeria. So don't ever sit somewhere and tell yourself that, oh, once I put my child in a certain environment, everything is okay. How? You can't control those environments. You can't. All right. Are you having tech conversations? Do you know that tech conversation is sex conversation? Do you know that your child can be abused without being touched? There's something that we call the non-touching forms of sexual abuse. Your child is not being touched yet, they are being abused. We have that a lot of it going on. If tech conversation is not part of your conversation, you haven't started. Part of what we have in the inner circle, apart from your family value plan, is that you create a media plan. In this month, we have even parents are now creating sex conversations plan. How are you having structured sex conversations in your home? Nothing left to chance. Nothing left to chance. Nothing at all. So you prepare a plan. For those who are asking about the inner circle, if you are going to enter the inner circle, you need to be ready. It's not this Tuesday class. I don't laugh like this in the inner circle. Nah, I don't. The parents in the inner circle will tell you. It is real business. Because for me, family is business. And if you run your family as a business, then that is where family will actually make meaning. That's why businesses have a vision, they have value system. My first career point of call in a career. I was in the hospital, then I moved to the bank. And the bank, there was a particular culture in the bank. That is the culture. You cannot behave anyhow or wear anything. That's it. And that's how businesses are run. The owners of this business, all right, the owners of this business is actually, that's what it is that they are putting together. They are making it so serious. They're making everybody take their business seriously. That's how family is. If your family has never been looked at as a business, then you are failing at it. It's because business people will look at their value system and they will do checks from time to time to find out whether the members, the people who are working in that business premises, are actually following the value system. The value system. So there is a media plan. What are your children watching? Are they just watching anything? And you just say, that's it. Whatever it is. However it is. You know, when people say that what will be, you can just parent children anyhow, and the one that will turn okay, they lied to you. Come out of that lie. They lied to you. They lied to you big time. All right? They lied to you. On a daily basis, I give the parents in the inner circle real buzz, as in, you do, as in, that's the word, nothing left to chance. In the inner circle, is that you are doing the work or you move out. You can do the inner circle and not be able to survive it. That's the truth. So you come ready. Is that you come hard or you don't come at all? Or you don't come at all. So what are you teaching? Porn literacy, puberty. Do you know that self-esteem and self-control is a key factor in sex conversation? Do you know that if you do not teach your son self-control, you have killed him? Do you know that if you not teach your daughter self-esteem, your sex conversation is blabberdash? Unfortunately, we are teaching sex conversation the way our parents taught it. Don't allow anybody touch you. Don't allow anybody this. Don't allow the same way. Nothing. No change. Because you cannot give what you don't have. You're not learning. You can't give. You cannot give out what you do not understand. So it's the same thing that is in your knowledge bank. That's what you're going to be able to be giving. Number 5, you must understand your child. For you to actually teach sex conversations that work, you must understand your child. If you ask the parents in the inner circle, one of the things that you start doing is that if you've been in the inner circle from time till now, you must have started learning how to understand your child learning style, how to understand your child's temperament, how to understand your child's love language. These are all key to this conversation. You need to understand who you're parenting. The biggest tragedy of our time is that many people are parenting people they don't know. Many of us don't know anything about their children. Nothing. Nothing. All you know is how to buy clothes. You buy clothes, designer, and then you buy whatever it is. That's all you know about your child. Unfortunately, that's a failed system. So many people are actually, I am in sessions with parents day in, day out. Day in, day out. In conclusion, 95% of people who are raising children don't know who they are raising. They're just living on assumption. An assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. If I do a test now, you come into a school and they ask you, so who is your child? You say, his name is Emeka Opara. He's the son of this, and this. Oh, he likes to eat this one. That's where your conversation will end. You will not understand his temperament. You don't understand how he learns. You don't understand his love language. You don't understand who he is. You don't understand how he processes things. You don't even understand who you're raising. You cannot grade your child to another person. You can't. That's one of the reasons why something happens in school. They call you and say, it can never be my child. You don't know your child. Unfortunately. It's not that your child changed. No, you just do not know who you are parenting. Your child didn't change. Oh, when my child goes to school, he's quiet. When he comes home, it's because you still do not understand who you are raising. Salama, salama parenting. Anyhow, you just do things anyhow, whatever works, however it is. You don't know who you are raising. You don't know, you can't say anything about the child you're raising, apart from what he likes to eat, apart from what and the things that he likes to play with. Is that what we're talking about? Can you really, rate your child as regards his learning capability? Can you rate him as regards executive functioning skills? Can you rate him as regards, social intelligence? And can you rate him as regards cultural intelligence? Nothing. I met a child a few days ago. Child was just, jumping everywhere and all of that. And just said, that's how he just behaves. I just laughed. I couldn't say anything. Do you really know who you are raising? You don't. Many of us don't. That's why when things happen, you are shocked. They shock you to your bone marrow. They shock you. You cannot give anything that you don't have. All right. If your knowledge bank is bankrupt, you will give the same bankrupt knowledge to your child. Let me say that again. If your knowledge bank is bankrupt, they will give you the same, you will give the same bankrupt knowledge to your child. That knowledge is totally nothing inside. It is from what you have that you give. If I don't have this t-shirt, I'm not going to be able to give it to you. It's as simple as that. So while you're just doing your parenting on the go, like they tell you on the internet, or they tell you on social media, just anything. Nobody has a manual. Nobody knows it all. They are telling you, you are believing. You're believing that there's nothing that you need to do. Continue. Because when the chips are down, you understand that the gaps will be so clear. When I get into sessions, as parents are telling me the challenges, I'm already able to read the gaps. You don't need to tell me what the gaps are. And when I give you the gaps, you will know that that's the gap. You will know straight up that that's the gap. One of the biggest tragedies of our time are parents parenting children who are more knowledgeable than they are. Now, unfortunately, we are now having children who are more knowledgeable than the parents. So the parents are now just, I don't know. A parent was talking to me about, I was asking what the child does online. She said, I don't really know. All these are online thing. I'm not really interested. I don't really know. You are raising children who are more knowledgeable than you are. For you to actually match the kind of knowledgeable, children that we have today, you have to step up your game. Where you're playing is not enough. Where you're playing, can't deliver on it. So that's part of what we do when we create courses for you, when we run, the academy. That's what we're doing for you. We're actually helping you. We're actually helping you to be able to actually put a lot of things in perspective and learn so that you will be able to actually guide your child. Because the idea is for you to guide your child. So at Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro 2.0, we're going to be giving you, I said that the people who paid yesterday, first 100 people, before I could finish in 2 hours, we actually had more than 100 people, all right? And so we decided that we're going to leave it open. So the first 500 people will be getting that 30 days guide. Already, like I said, we're almost 200. He wants to make payments. In fact, anybody who makes payment today in the next 24 hours gets the guide. Let's not leave it open-ended. Okay? And then we also have the book that you get in. Everybody who gets into the Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro gets it. Things you must look out for before you start sex conversations. All right? I will join you to ensure that you book and get into Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro so that you can start learning. You need to match your children's knowledge to their knowledge. It's not force. It's not you claiming. All those force, they can read through you. They can see that you don't know anything. You see all those force that you're matching them with. They can see that this woman doesn't know anything. This man doesn't know anything. And when you finish, they just smile and just, walk away. They can see it. They know it. So come and get knowledge. That cost is usually, a cost that we should actually sell at as much as 20,000 naira. But for every year, last year it was a 1K cost. This year is a 2K cost, 2,000 naira. You are able to book your slot, 2,000 naira as, early, but we're going to leave it for quite a while. That's till 23rd of June. You want to get into Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro, have us share the link. If you're watching me on YouTube, Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro, just click on that arrow. You will see the link right in there for you to register for Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro 2.0. Even if you were at Sex Educate Your Child Challenge 1.0. 1.0 was last year. We had almost 3,000 parents at that session, at that challenge. And I tell you, what you're going to be learning in the sex educate your child, you've not read it anywhere. It's a new whole curriculum altogether. So if you want to be part of this challenge, all you need to do is just put challenge right in the comment section, because knowledge is going to help you. The kind of knowledge that parents got at Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro 1.0 was something else. It's a curriculum shared. That's what accumulated to Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro book, and that's where we started the series. So we're writing the series Sex Educate Your Child, because I am of the opinion that what is being loaded out there, all right, it's just all too many trash being circulated out there. All right, we're having too much nonsense. So private part, public part, and all of the talks out there that we're having. There are basics, and there are basics to start from when it comes to sex education. I was there. Uni said I was there last year, but I've registered for this year. Awesome. All right. So everybody who wants to upgrade, who wants to get what it is, all right, is you need to be at this session. Okay, there are too many junks out there. Don't feed your mind with junk. A parent was writing a review about the inner circle. The parent said, this is one place I have seen that there is no one single junk. Not one. Not one. Not one. You can't find junk in the academy. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. All right. And then when you think that you're coming in with one expectation, there are things. Will you teach me? Somebody chatted me. Will you teach me this? I said, keep that expectation. You don't even reach anything where we go teach. Just keep them for somewhere. Just keep it. All right. People say my broken sounds funny. I'm trying. Just keep it somewhere. Okay. It's the expectation. You don't have the expectation. You do not. So when you're coming for any of our courses, keep your expectation somewhere. Keep it. Now we be the expectation. Now we will give you the expectation where you expect. Because the things you are even expecting, you don't even understand what you should be expecting. So we give you the expectation. So keep your expectations on one side. No, don't come with are you sure they will really deliver? Are you sure she really knows what they don't want? Just keep it. Just come. Come without anything. We'll give you both the expectation, both the value, both the fire, both everything it is that you need to. So if you're paying in the next 24 hours, you're going to be getting that 30-day guide. So we're creating a whole new guide after the challenge where you can every day have something to talk about on sex conversation. We're going to break it down. I like to make it easy. Part of what I have learned, all right, is to make it easy. All right, you can post on Telegram, yeah? Part of what I have learned is to make it easy for conversations like this. And that has really helped a lot of parents, okay? So it is something that you want to actually be part of. Trust me, trust me, this is one of the best things you can do for yourself when it comes to sex conversations. Parents who attended it last year would tell you, what it felt like, how it is, all right? So when you're coming, come as you are. Whether you are deciding to join the inner circle, for those of you who are asking about the inner circle, book a slot now and come as you are. Don't come and ask me, oh, coach, this inner circle, what will I gain? Don't worry. What you will gain, you don't know. Just keep it. What it is that you are going to gain, you don't know first. Just keep it. Keep what you think, what you're thinking in your head. Come empty. Come. We have what it is to feel, whatever it is. All right. So it's the sex educate your child like a pro is if you're paying between now and the 24th is 2,000 naira as against 15,000 naira. All right. And if you pay in 24 hours, you join the people who already paid yesterday to actually get access to that 30 days guide. I am not giving it out for free to any other person. No, I will not. If you don't pay today, you pay for it. See, even the books we give out for free, we can sell it. And, it's still valuable. People share testimonials from our free books. All right? People share testimonials from our free books. So it's not bragging, right? We're not bragging, yeah? So all we're saying to you is that take advantage now. Sometimes I even give, it's the parents in the inner circle that actually enjoy most of these things more. The team will soon come, they will soon come for me. But yes, all right, all you need to do is to click on that link. You don't need to bring anything to the table because the inner circle is the original table. That's it. Thank you, Abiodu. That's the word. If you're joining the inner circle, don't bring anything. Your table might not even be containing anything. Don't bring the table. We have the table in the inner circle. All right. We have the table in the inner circle. My journey in the inner circle started from attending this challenge, the 1.0. Now, there, coach, arrest me till today. Oh, wow, Christy. Coach, brag, you have the bragging right. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I've learned to brag as in the bragging right thing. The parents in the inner circle say I said I didn't brag enough last year. So this year, we decided we'll brag to the end. The inner circle is everything you can ever. In fact, you can't think it. Don't bother thinking it. Just come as you are. All right, and come and meet the table. Okay, so if you're joining, if you are still having doubts, what will I get? Well, join the sex educate your child like a pro. Keep your expectations. At least it's cheap challenge, yeah. Yes, join, come and learn. When you're done, you can begin to ask yourself. I'm sure by the time you are done with sex educate your child like a pro 2.0, you begin to ask yourself, where have I been? where have I been? What have I been doing? All right, you can't attend any of our courses and not feel that way. It is impossible. Quote me. If that happens, come and take back your money. Ask me for it. All right. So just come and take it back. All right. For those of us who are asking me about we shared the shocking porn statistics. We shared it free here, and we're going to also share it on the community so I can have access. All right. So somebody's asking the link. Just look at the description on the YouTube channel. You see the link. That's where you see the link. If you're Yada, of course, you know that your own link is different. This is not, don't do public link. So your link is different. Please go and ask admin for your own link and your own details of what you're paying. Inner circle is the real deal. It can only be experienced. That's the word. Shikina. Coach Omolola has been in the inner circle for 3 years. And I tell you, you know what that means. One of the coaches, people in the inner circle are coaches of coaches. Let's stop there. All right. Any promo for those of us on bench for next year? Nah, you're not in the inner circle yet. You don't have the benefit of the inner circle. Not yet. All right. You wait until you get in. That's when you see the benefit of the inner circle. Coach, you have bragging rights, please. Yes, I do. We don't do expectations. We do intentional. That's it. If you're not in the inner circle, you're missing. I see you. Senior Yada here, 3 years in the inner circle and still learning. Now here we do. Not going anywhere. Coach Malala, I see you. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming for this session. Bottom line is that we need to get the right knowledge for us to be able to actually, be able to teach our children. Most importantly, I am very passionate about having children who can actually navigate their world. I have seen how intentional parenting have actually changed my own life, changed my own parenting and my own children. And part of what it is that I teach is the things that I have practiced. I have taught thousands of parents to practice, and not just, things that have been tried, all over, and, have no basis and all of that. No, we are actually going to be giving you the real deal. Again, if you attend Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro 2.0 and you didn't get a kind of, you didn't get, not that you will not get, you didn't get value, no. And you actually got expected value. Come and collect your money back. We get the kind of value you get in that course is something that you have not known before. Quote me. Something that you have not known before. You're going to hear things that will blow your mind. Thank you so much for being here and for joining me. The inner circle is the real deal. You just will not understand. We can't explain it. Senior Yoda Lola, we respect. Lola, we respect you. We have other senior Yadas here also. All right. I've been shocked, but since I started following you, I know that assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. Well done. Thank you everywhere. And also, Chidima, you're in the inner circle. What is it? Chidima said I cannot see her. Why? All right, so see you guys, and next week Tuesday. Make sure that you actually get it. Remember that the Fathers Conference takes off in 3 days. I'm talking to fathers alone. If you're a father, be at that conference. We're bringing you people that will blow your mind. The guy that is going to be teaching on will is actually, someone that is currently in a present government, and he's going to be teaching from in-depth knowledge. Your husband needs to be there. I will not be teaching. I'm not a father. I don't teach at fathers conference. I don't. I bring fathers to speak to fathers. That's what we do. Okay. And so, and the TIP annual conference is coming up in July. We call it our parenting Shiloh. All right. Our parenting Shiloh is coming up soon. You don't want to miss any of that. Keep your eye on the balls. Put a notification on this station and don't move any dial. Thank you so much, and see you at Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro. All right, we're going to share the details. You just look through the communities, even the community tab of the YouTube, you'll see all of the details that you need. Have an amazing day, everybody. Bye-bye.